Sharing the truth, one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network. Welcome. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast for the 21st of July, 2014. And if you heard my commentary from earlier, you'll know exactly where I'm going to go was part of this show. Lots of things are happening. Lots of things are brewing in the world that are on the brink of complete destruction of an entire group of people. And I'm talking about what's happening with Israel and with the Palestinians and all of that. There has been word, and I haven't verified this yet, but there has been word that there is no and has never been a Palestinian state. Well, from my research many years ago in history, I would have to say, where are they getting the information? So there's that to contend with. Also, again, with Israel, I do believe with what's going on, I don't care who you are, what type of government you have, or anything of that nature, you have a right to defend yourself, both governmentally and whoever is trying to wipe you off the face of the map. You have a right to defend yourself that way, but individually, as humanity, as the members of humanity, you and I are part of that, we also have a right to defend ourselves and our nation and our country and our borders and our cities and the states and the counties here in the United States and also around the world. Every individual has a right to survive. Every individual has a right to defend themselves as much as they possibly can. And unlike the citizens of Mexico that are outlawed they're banned from having any type of handgun or rifle or anything of that nature. And some other countries are the same way because they know. As an example of the United States of America, they know that when the people are armed, that's not going to go well for the people in charge and the government in charge, because governments are there to do one thing and one thing only. In a general assessment of it, governments are only there to do one thing and one thing only: manipulate, control, and subject the people to a tyranny. That's all. Now, a government of, by, and for the people is completely different. They have everyday people, your bakers, your hairdressers, your teachers, your, whoever, in that government. And it is of, by, and for the people. But with the current corporation and in Washington, D.C., and the current controllers that are up there, all they want is slaves, and all they want is complete and total control of every aspect of your life. And this is what this current government is doing. And this is basically what's happening over in the Middle East. It's happening elsewhere in the world. It's happened in Russia and in China, and it's happened in Mexico, and it's happening all over the place. And the individual has to decide how much is enough. And they have to get together with other people, other citizens, their fellow members of humanity, and ask how much is going to be enough, and what are you going to do? So am I on either side of this situation going on with Israel? No, I'm not. I'm on the side of humanity. Everybody wants to be free and survive and live and work and create for themselves a better life for them and their families. I'm for that. I'm for freedom and liberty for all. And anybody who comes against that, well, I come against them in the defense of the free and liberated people of the world. So Anyway, I'm going to take a little break. I'll be right back. You can email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. The truth is out there. You just have to look for it. It is most often buried beneath what could be considered mainstream news. You're being fooled into thinking they have the answers. They don't. Come listen to The Views Expressed, Free America Radio, broadcasting live on Spreaker.com. Local radio with a worldwide connection. The Free America Radio Network. Go to www.freeamericaradio.us.
Listen to Angel Clark Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Radio Freedom News Network. RadioFreedom.us.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
Hey folks, welcome back. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show on Spreaker.com and on the Wayne S. Pierce Show.weebly.com site. So please join me, if you would, for this next segment as well. What is happening all over the world is completely amazing to me, considering that people, I'll just... instead of lumping them all into one, I will say this. The state-run media is spewing their propaganda to the nth degree. And, oh, yes, if you hear someone talking bad about what is happening and what we need to do, and they're being really, whatever it is, if you feel that your news... so-called news is saying the right things. Yes, this is why. Can you say controlled opposition? There isn't like one moment that I've seen any of the state-run media do anything right. Okay, and this has been going on for many, many years. There's not one moment that they've done anything right. So, or reported on anything that was correct. Okay, so anyway, if you go to the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page, as soon as Facebook stops flipping out on me here, you'll see a whole lot of things that I want to highlight. And this leads me into this next segment as far as Governor Rick Perry in Texas. KHOU.com, as of July 18th, when I put it up on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page, border protests to take place Friday across the U.S. Yeah. And I believe today, Governor Perry is going to have a news conference and really... I don't know what he's going to say, but I will say this. He better do the right thing. And what is the right thing? Well, first of all, no one group or one person has all the right answers, because a one-size-fits-all answer isn't going to work. But if he says that he's going to defy the president's orders and order up 1,000 National Guard troops to go on the border, I applaud him for that. And not because, the accusations of the left are saying, oh, they're racist and all. No, it's not. It's literally, we want to know who's coming over the border. We've got criminals from MS-13 and the drug cartels coming over. We've got rapists and arsonists and murderers coming over. We have undocumented, or I should say unverified, sick people who need medical help coming over and spreading disease and all this. Now, would someone say, well, that's just fear-mongering? They said that many years ago in World War II. They said that many years ago in Vietnam, blah, blah, blah. But let me verify something for you right now. It is a known fact in the last several weeks. You can go look this up yourself as well. In the last several weeks, there have been reports of children and young teens and all of that having diseases and all of that coming over and being shipped all over the country. That's one verification. The other one is when you look at the hospitals and other information coming out from these states where they go, specifically Texas, California, even up in Illinois, you will see that most of them are going to the hospital and other people are being sick or getting sick. So don't sit there and tell me I'm wrong or that I'm a racist or that I have Southern ideals that are, racist or anything like, because you're a bunch of freaking idiots if you cannot get your head wrapped around this information and go out and check it out yourself. I call it like it is. I don't steer you in the wrong direction. I give you the map. I show you that here you are. Big red dot right there showing you are here, and therefore you need to decide for yourself what direction you want to go. Like I said, no one person or one group is correct in all of this, and no one answer is going to fit these whole problems that we are currently having, and it's not going to benefit or solve any of the problems. Now, if you decide to go off in a direction that is not going to benefit the whole or benefit you as a person or the whole of humanity in your area, you got a problem. Because here it is. You either took the wrong direction or you were told by propaganda from the state-run media that you shouldn't do that everything's fine. Well, more and more lately, here's my point. More and more lately, I hear a lot of the state-run media and a lot of people saying, well, everything's fine. Everything's cool. We don't have to do anything. Okay, you got protesters out there. All right, I don't have to do anything then. They got it covered. No. Remember this phrase, strength in numbers. And if you don't have the strength in numbers, you ain't got squat, okay? Because if you keep thinking that somebody else is going to do it, then you've already lost the battle. You need to get out and do what has to be done. Right here on Free America Radio on Facebook, from WorldNet Daily, Texas sending 1,000 guardsmen to the border. I posted that 2 hours ago from the WorldNet Daily website. Also from We the People Support the Second Amendment on Facebook, Texas border rancher makes frightening discovery, claims proof that 9/11 is about to happen. And that's from GOPthedailydose.com as well. From themindunleashed.org, is everything in the mainstream media fake? 6 examples of media manipulation. And also from informedplanet.org, 7 most disgusting ingredients used to make vaccines. And I've got some memes up there and everything and other things. But I talked about the border, so let's go here. In this segment before we head to the bottom of the hour break. WorldNet Daily says Texas sending 1,000 guardsmen to the border. Activists insist troops need authority to arrest and detain. Texas Governor Rick Perry is expected Monday to announce the deployment of up to 1,000 National Guard troops to the border following an incident in which members of the Mexican drug cartels allegedly fired shots from a .50 caliber machine gun from the Mexican side of the border into Texas, sending U.S. Border Patrol guards scurrying for cover. They were out in the Rio Grande in boats, folks. They were out in the Rio Grande in boats. Do you understand me, people? This is not only an immigration constitutional problem. This is a complete and utter invasion from the Army of Mexico. Do you understand that? I can understand if they were in the Rio Grande patrolling and not shooting, but if they start shooting over in here, no, that's a declaration of war, and we have to stand up against it, period. Okay? Goes on to say, following the shooting incident Friday night, Texas Rep. Terry Canales, a Democrat, told the Associated Press he was briefed by his staff on Sunday after a conference call with the governor's office. Texas National Guard and the State Department of Public Safety. Perry is scheduled to make the announcement Monday at 2 p.m. Central. That is coming up at about in a half hour. More than 3,000 Border Patrol agents now work in South Texas, and Perry has repeatedly asked President Obama to send the National Guard to the border. At the same time, Perry has come under growing pressure from the conservative wing of his party to act on his own under Article 1, Section 10, Clause 3 of the U.S. Constitution. This clause gives states the right to declare an imminent danger and to call up the National Guard. Also, how about the 10th Amendment, folks? U.S. Border Patrol agents on the American side of the Rio Grande were forced to take cover Friday night when a heavy weaponry was fired at them from the Mexican side of the river, sources told FoxNews.com. In an interview with WND, William Green, president of Americans for Legal Immigration Pact, said he believed Perry's decision was motivated not only by the gunfire at the border, but by the, quote, historic wave of protest across the country this weekend, which included more than 40 locations in Texas alone, unquote. Quote, my concern, however, is that it will do no good to send National Guardsmen to the border if human traffickers are still shipping and smuggling illegals into the U.S., unquote, Geen said. Quote, we need the National Guard to be given authority to arrest and to detain near the border so they can be sent back, unquote. It won't be the first time the National Guard has been sent to the border with Mexico. In May of 2006, President George W. Bush ordered about 6,000 guardsmen to the border as part of the Operation Jumpstart, but they were not used in any law enforcement capacity. Rather, they were used to provide security, intelligence, and help construct a border fence. That's a pretty lengthy article. That's up on Free America Radio on Facebook. And situation is, folks, and it's real simple. The situation is, do you want to protect your home? Do you want to protect your home? Now, let me go on this side of the spectrum as well. And I'm going to say this. Not all of these people are bad. Most of them are. So the criminals, the MS-13 gangs, the drug cartels, all of those people need to be stopped at the border. But remember this, first of all, where did the Mexican military or whoever it was there on the boat shooting at .50 caliber at the Border Patrol, where did they get that weapon? Can you say the U.S.? Yeah, because we have an agreement with the Mexican army that will help train them. Years ago, we trained the Zetas to go against the drug cartels. But guess what? They got gobbled up by the drug cartels, and now they're doing, the nasty work for the Mexican government. Now, there's so many things that could go wrong with the National Guard being at the border. Yes, I completely understand that. But again, I asked the question, do you want to protect your home? Because as far as I'm concerned, you have to protect your home, period. End of sentence, done. You as an individual, you as part of the group called humanity, you with the neighbors, friends, family members in your neighborhood have to protect your neighborhood, period. I don't give a rat's butt what you think about, these drug gangs in our streets are just misled and they need prayer and they need church and they need something. They're bored and they're just blah, 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 blah. The last statistic I saw was the drug gangs in your neighborhood, in your city as a whole, about 40% of those drug gangs, the Hispanic drug gangs, which are all over the cities, are illegal aliens here being housed and kept from being arrested. And most of those 40% are funded by the drug cartels in Mexico and indirectly funded by your tax dollars. Can you say Fast and Furious? So I don't give a rat's patoot what you think about this whole situation. Christians, you need to shut your damn mouths because you don't know what's going on, even in your own churches. You have been infiltrated by the federal government. Why did your church sign the 501c3? That gives the government full reign to come into your church and tell you what to preach from the pulpit. Don't even question me about that. You better go to your church and ask them. I've already done my homework. So, now that leads that into the Catholic Church, who have opened their doors to say, oh, we'll take care of them. We'll help them transition into, yes, do you know why? Because the Catholic Church was given billions and billions of your tax dollars to support illegal immigration. There you go. Why do you think we need to close the damn borders? Again, I completely understand when someone would say to me, if they were to say to me, well, it's not going to, help that we put National Guard troops on the border. That's going to probably make it a lot worse. I completely understand that. But when Texas can put 1,000 on the Texas border, how about New Mexico putting 1,200 on their border, or Arizona putting 800 on their border, or California putting 2,500 on their border? Do you think the Mexicans would have any chance, or anybody else coming through Mexico, no matter what country they came from, to get into the U.S.? Do you think they'll be able to get in? No. But guaranteed, the Mexican military, who is working with the Central American governments, the Mexican government, Nieto, president of Mexico, is working with the Guatemalan, I believe, president to make sure that the illegal immigrants get into the United States. No, not immigrants. Illegal aliens get into the United States. And you better bet your sweet patootie that they're going to have the Mexican military right there on the border looking over into America. And if there's any military, American military on our border, you can bet your ass they're going to start a war. They're going to shoot cover fire. That's what they call it, cover fire, as it was reported in the news here recently, over into America to cover, to make cover for all the illegals to get in. And I would even venture a guess. I'm only guessing. I don't have any stats on this, but I can venture a guess and say this. Upwards to 70% of all illegal aliens coming across that border are going to be part of a drug cartel, part of a gang, part of, some sort of infiltration of something. They're going to be in that type of situation trying to get into the United States. Hell, a guy who walked away from a group coming across Mexico was arrested for, murder? And there are people that say, well, when you're in this land, you're covered by the Constitution. No, you don't. If you're not a citizen, either naturalized or born here, if you come here on a visa and you become a citizen, 5, 10, 15 years later or whatever it is, or if you're not born here, you are not a citizen. That's why they're called illegal aliens. You are not covered under any type of law whatsoever in this country in terms of citizenship or the Constitution of the United States of America. And in that, you should be arrested, prosecuted, and sent back to the port of entry where you came from. Now, Again, I completely understand when somebody tells me, if they tell me, sending the National Guard to the border is probably going to be a lot worse. It's going to create, more problems. I don't think so. I think it's going to create a deterrent in some areas. I do believe that, but if they're ordered to protect the border, they're going to protect the border by any means necessary. So if anybody wants to come across the border while the National Guard, the military, the United States military, National Guard units are on the border, it's not going to be the National Guard that's going to cause the problem. It's going to be the people crossing the border that are going to be causing the problem. They step over the border, it's a problem. They start taking 50 calibers on boats in the Rio Grande and shooting it over here, that's a problem. They start digging tunnels and doing everything to get over here, that's a problem. Now, I've even had someone say, well, why don't we just invade Mexico and take care of the whole thing? Well, see, that's the bigger problem. Because, and I've even had somebody tell me, well, why don't we just, pull Mexico into... Here's the thing, folks. The controllers, the bankers, the people that actually run Washington, D.C., and the elites want to create a North American Union. The paperwork has already been signed. The infrastructure has already been in place for quite a while. And now all they need to do is collapse the United States of America, suspend or completely get rid of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights of the United States of America, and create a North American Union where you are a subject in a kingdom, period. That's what they want. That's Canada, the U.S., and Mexico, all one country. Now, that's not working very well for the European Union, is it? That's not working very well for the Asian Union, is it? It's time, folks, that we get a gut check, get a reality check, do what we have to do to understand what's happening in our own country and to protect our own borders. I don't care if it's the national border at the southern or northern part of the United States or the state's borders. We need to protect our country, and it's going to take we the people to come together and do that. I am not going to depend on my government to come protect me. I can do it myself. Okay? That's just the way it is. So, do you want somebody to destroy your home? How about if somebody came into your home, started eating your food, watching your TV, using your internet, driving your car, and then demand that you pay for it all? You wouldn't like that too much, would you? Well, we don't either. And it's time we put a stop to it. And if it takes 1,000 National Guard troops at the border, then that's what it's going to be. Okay? This is our country, not theirs, and they need to get the hell out now. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. So anyway, that's my rant for the first half hour of this show. Come back, go to Free America Radio on Facebook, give you a preview of what's coming up on the Views Express Live and my opinion on all of it. And I shall return shortly. Go to freeamericaradio.us or thewaynesPierceShow.weebly.com. Email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. That's freeamericaradio@usa.com. The world as we know it is changing. We must speak out against the tyranny in our country. Stand up, speak out, get involved. Live Truth Radio. The reality underneath the honesty. LiveTruthRadio.com. Listen to the Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. Hold on tight. Get ready.
Hey, welcome back to the Wayne S. Pierce Show, 21st of July, 2014. What's coming up on the Views Expressed Live today? Who knows, I may have a podcast today, but stay tuned. Anyway, go to freeamericaradio.us for more information. What is coming up on that show? I will tell you. Lots of things are happening. Lots of things are going on. For instance, news from Grassfire Nation on Facebook from an article from libertynews.com. Boycott Marietta Facebook group page used to slander Marietta residents and call for slashing the tires of border convoy vehicles. In a curious case of extreme irony, a radical Facebook group called Boycott Marietta, California, claims to have been initially set up to peacefully organize against residents of Marietta, but has instead become a breeding ground for extreme hate, slanderous accusations, and call for the use of criminal action against concerned patriotic Americans. The radicals running the page posted up a news alert from the official August 1st border convoy, calling it the hate convoy in the Post. From Boycott Marietta, California, it says this: here is a plan for the hate convoy. Okay, so it goes down a list of where they're going to be, where the border convoy is going to be. Then it goes on to say, getting back to the irony mentioned above, the article says, the responses to the Post accusing the border convoy of hate are full of, well, you guessed it, hate. A person responding, a Gardenia Rivera, if that's her real name, said, these people have guns and knives. I saw them with their weapons in Marietta. We made sure to not walk alone when we were there. They were threatening to lynch migrant children. And the border convoy, California, says all the more reason to stop their hate convoy. Now, let me interject this. There was absolutely, positively no guns in Marietta. It was peaceful. It was the citizens of that little town saying they don't want immigrants, illegal immigrants, in their city. And they did it peacefully. There were no guns. And if you go to the YouTube page for the Pete Santilli Show, you can replay the whole episode, the whole 3-hour episode. You'll see there were no guns. So this Boycott Marietta Facebook page needs to be taken down for the sole purpose of spreading hate, period, end of sentence. You know, there's free speech, but then there's free speech inciting a riot. That's like going into a movie theater and saying fire when there isn't any. There is no hate on the part of the patriots. We want the laws to be followed, and we want what we want. That's the way it is. Now, disagree with me on that one. That's on you. The article continues. Let me reiterate this. Getting back to the irony mentioned above in the article here, the responses to the post accusing the border convoy of hate are full of, you guessed it, hate. And I read to you what these two people said in the post. You read that right. They are actually claiming with a blanketed statement that concerned residents of Marietta wish to lynch illegal aliens. You can't make this stuff up. It gets worse, though. A hateful individual by the name of Salvatierra actually called for group members to commit crimes by slashing tires of convoy vehicles. And this Salvatierra said, find the buses, slash the tires. And the article here at libertynews.com goes on to say, and yes, they call for crime. The call for crime was even liked by Joyce Calleja and Gardenia Rivera. There are plenty more examples of hate throughout the Boycott Marietta page, and unfortunately there appears to be no effort to remove it from the page. Again, they're ironic. Again, very ironic for a page that claims to stand against hate. Update. Instead of the group addressing the hatred and calls for crime, they're just digging in and now lashing out at us. Their hatred just never ends. Update number 2. The page was blocked. The page has blocked me from commenting. Not only do they refuse to call out the hate and criminal activity on their page, they block anyone who tries to point it out. And I'm going to say this this is on free. The link there is on Free America Radio on Facebook. Let me state this and make this very, very clear to anyone who has anything to say in terms of calling out, or I should say not calling out, but calling for people to commit a violent act. Let me point my finger directly at you, Stan. What is that? What is this hate group? This Boycott Marietta, California Facebook page? Let me call something out to you, okay? Let me make this next statement directly to you. You are calling for hate. You are a hate group. You are calling out to do criminal activity against innocent people. You are a hate group, and you need to go away. And no, I am not some shill. I am not some Nazi propaganda, as you call Liberty News. Let me tell you something. You ain't got the proof one in your little toe to prove anything on your side because you are stupid, ignorant ignoramuses that have absolutely no concern for anyone except yourself. You're calling your members to commit crimes against innocent people. Slashing their tires, that's a criminal offense. Stopping them, that's a criminal offense. How about you grab your constitutional lawyers? Oh, wait, you don't believe in the Constitution. Let me tell you what Chris Ann Hall says. There's this thing called a heckler's veto. And in any county across the state lines into each state, in that convoy, those sheriffs are going to stand on the Constitution. There's a heckler's veto, which means you come against any patriot, you are going to be hauled away to jail. Do you understand me? So, boycott Marietta, California on Facebook. Boycott them completely. Everybody go there and boycott them. Every single last one of you who are patriots. Don't sign up for their page. Just boycott them. Or maybe sign up, or not sign up, but maybe friend them or like them and then report them. That's a better thing to do, and that's peaceful and legal. So boycott Marietta, you can go straight to hell, you whiny ass pansy little... I was going to say a word, but I will not. Take it from me, I don't like hate. I don't like it. I don't like anybody who spreads it. I don't like anybody who calls on their members to go commit crimes. So who's the hate group? It just upsets me that you got a group like this, and I'm going to equate them with the Westboro Baptist Church. How do you like that, boycott Marietta? Huh? How do you like them apples? Don't like that too much, do you? Well, guess what? I don't care. You're a bunch of punks. That's what you are. You are a bunch of punks. And there it is, right there on Facebook. Boycott Marietta, California. You heard me typing. I found it. I'm not even going to like it. I'm not going to do anything. I am going to report this page right now. Says here, why are you reporting this page? I just don't like it. It's harassing to me or someone I know. I think it shouldn't be on Facebook. It's a spam or a scam. I want to report a post, not the entire page. It's duplicate or miscategorized. Well, guess what? It shouldn't be on Facebook. And continue. Hate speech. What's wrong with this page? Hate speech. Targets race or ethnic or religious group or gender or orientation or disability or disease. I would even go as far as saying that's the only four. Targets race, religious group, gender or orientation or disability or disease. I would even go as far as saying race. Or I'm not even going to send it yet. It says violence or harmful behavior. Credible threat of violence. There we go. Credible threat of violence. Now, if my page gets shut down because of this, says here, learn about Facebook community standards. Violence and threats. Safety is Facebook's top priority. We remove content and may escalate to law enforcement when we perceive a genuine risk of physical harm or a direct threat to public safety. Slashing tires is public safety. You may not credibly threaten others or organize acts of real-world violence. Slashing tires is real-world violence. Organizations with a record of terrorist or violent criminal activity are not allowed to maintain a presence on our site. We also prohibit promoting, planning, or celebrating any of your actions if they have or could result in financial harm, slashing tires, to others, including theft or vandalism, slashing tires. There you go. There you go. And I am going to take a screenshot of that, and I am going to post that right there in a post. And I want to say this. I'm going to make this, I don't lash out with anybody, okay? I don't. But when I see a bunch of people calling for their members to commit criminal acts, then it says, thank you. We have received your report. Learn more about Family Safety Center, blah, blah, blah. So there you go. Now, if my page gets taken down, I know Okay, I doubt that they'll know where it came from, but I'm just saying. Let me go here. Let me check the time because I don't want to go over. I got 16 minutes. I don't want to go over anything. I want to do one more break before it comes up. And before I get to the end of the show. And I'm going to comment. I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to write. This Facebook page is encouraging their members to commit violent and financially harmful acts against law-abiding citizens. You can hear me typing this, folks. I'm putting this on record. Facebook should follow their own rules and delete this page. Here's Facebook. Here's the information concerning Facebook community standards. Now, dang, man. I got to go find that now because I don't know where I put it. But anyway, yeah, I don't put up with bullcrap. Okay, I don't put up with bullcrap. I never have, and I never will. Now, a lot of people would say, well, you're all for freedom of speech. You're all for this. You're all for that. Yes, I am. I am all for that. But here's the thing. If your freedom of speech incites harm in whatever manner to someone else, you must defend yourself. You must. There is no way around that. Okay? There is no I got a little something going on there. Yeah, there is no reason why you shouldn't protect yourself. Okay? You need to do what you do to I'm trying to type and talk at the same time, folks. Sorry. Sorry. And whatever happens, happens. Okay? Whatever happens, happens. Because I took time to do that, I may not have a whole lot of time to get into my next article for as a preview coming up on the Views Expressed live today, but let me give this a shot. It's from themindunleash.org. Is everything in the mainstream media fake? 6 examples of media manipulation. I'll read these during the Views Express live, but I'll give you just a little headlines. Time magazine sanitizes their covers for American consumption. Yes, they have. That's on the record. It's been that way for many, many years. That's number 1. Number 2 is CNN is the leader in fake war news coverage. Okay. And there's a couple of videos showing that. Manufactured reality TV. Okay. Number 3, The Biggest Loser. Americans should by now already know that the reality shows are staged. The popular TV show Biggest Losers, where overweight people compete to lose the most weight for entertainment benefit for the rest of the world, lies about the circumstances of the training and weighing regimen of their contestants while using underhanded methods to generate phony emotional responses from their contestants. Number 4, nationally scripted, quote-unquote, local news. It only has news quoted, but I put it that way. Number 5, manipulating images for war propaganda. Okay? Just putting it out there, all right? Number 6, advertising industry touches up images of people. There's a video with a perfect example of it. Conclusion, whether for marketing or for manufacturing consent, the media industry is guilty of using subtle or not so subtle tactics to influence our conscious and subconscious minds, to influence our opinions and behavior. There are countless other examples of these practices, and discerning, awake people would be well served to be vigilant of this when consuming modern media in any form. You don't have to be paranoid these days to acknowledge that you're being lied to, and that the institutions we should be able to depend on for bringing us an objective view of the world are anything but objective. Okay? So there's that. That's on Free America Radio on Facebook. Also, I'll talk about an article from informedplanet.org, 7 most disgusting ingredients used to make vaccines. So coming down to the end of this program, I want to say this. I don't like, let me rephrase this and go back. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. I am for free speech. I am for free speech. Anybody, I don't care if I disagree with them or not. But when that free speech, when that person or group uses that free speech to incite and encourage criminal activity, then that group should be held responsible. Westboro Baptist Church, Boycott Marietta, California, other groups as well. They need to be held accountable. Now, I certainly can understand that these groups are going to look at patriots like myself, like Brian Lang, like Pete Santilli, and say that we're a hate group. Or look at places like WND, WorldNet Daily, or LibertyNews.com and say they're Nazi propaganda machines, whatever. They don't have the proof because they're dumber than a box of rocks, and I will call them out on it every single time. Okay? Every single time. Now, they can do whatever they want to me. I don't care. Doesn't really matter. I can always, hey, I'm an adaptable individual. When the winds change, I go. Okay? When things are different, I change. Only because of the fact that it's the ultimate survival that is my goal. Not in terms of if the system comes after me, I'm just going to drop all my weapons and not fight and protect myself. No, that's just completely ridiculous. What I'm speaking of is, say, Facebook takes my page down. So I'll create another one. I've got a whole bunch of them. I'll just create more. I'll create something new. It's no big deal. I'd like to see these members of Boycott Marietta here in Reno, Nevada. And I bet you any amount of money, hundreds of people will come against them and rush them out of town. That's if the county sheriff doesn't stand on the Constitution and the Supreme Court decision about the heckler's veto and arrest them for impeding our First Amendment right to protest. Now, I know for a fact that a lot of people are going to look at me and say, well, aren't you hateful of this group? And isn't that kind of ironic? I can certainly understand that question and that concept. I really do. But I'm going to ask you this question. Do you support hate? Do you support a group that is encouraging their members to go out and slash tires of a patriotic group trying to not only educate people about the border, but also stop the people from coming over the border? I want somebody out there right now, if you would please, thank you, to investigate Boycott Marietta, California. Find out who owns it, who runs it, who deals with all that, and send me that information. I'm going to look myself, but if you find it before I do, please send that to freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. And I'm more than willing to give you credit for any article that you write or anything that you say, and we'll go from there. The facts are facts, folks. Hate groups should not exist. I can understand somebody opposing me because they disagree with me. I will firmly stand with them on their First Amendment right to disagree with me. And hopefully we'll come to an understanding and we can walk away and have a nice day. But when I and another group or someone else or anybody for that matter comes against someone else using free speech as a tool for their propagating their hate, that is when you, the American people, as well as myself, need to stand up and hold them accountable. And if they can't, Westboro Baptist Church, and now Boycott Marietta, California, perfect examples. Perfect examples. It's time to stand up against them and say, you need to go away. You no longer need to be opening your mouth about anything. Where is Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson in all of this? Where are they? Are they saying, hey, wait a minute, you can't do that? No. I bet you any amount of money they're going to be standing right in the middle of that group propagating and supporting anything that they do. Why? Because it goes against the sovereignty and freedom and liberty and security of this nation. And they want to tear it down. And anybody that spreads hate throughout America in any type of group is nothing more than a fascist pig that doesn't care about the freedoms and liberties of the citizens of the United States of America. And I got a message, and I'm going to direct this right to Boycott Marietta, California. You are nothing but fascist, low-life pieces of crap. It is time you pack your bags and leave this country. You are not going to use the First Amendment for your propagating your hate against any patriot of the United States of America. And I demand that you disband, pack your crap, and get the hell out of my country. Do you understand that? And if you don't like how I speak to you, then you better man up, put your big boy pants on, and come meet me. And we'll discuss this over coffee. Oh, and yes, the coffee is on me. All right? I'll tell you just why you're so freaking stupid. Okay? So there you go. Geez, you sound really hateful and really bitter. No, folks. Understand that when you believe in freedom, liberty, security, and you believe in what what America stands for, what the United States of America stands for, and what the people have gone through to establish that freedom and liberty, when you understand that, when you understand that we've got a government that's just overpowering everybody, then you'll understand one primary function you have. Protect your home at any costs. Whatever it takes to protect yourself, your home, your family, your city, your state, your county, your sheriffs, your fire personnel, your hospitals, whatever it takes to protect yourself and everybody else is now on your back when we have an out-of-control government with overreaching its power in the executive level. It is now time to take a stand. And most of you people already have taken typing classes. You remember that phrase we've always typed, "Now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their country." Sometimes it was party. Today it's country. We must do what we must do, and that's just the way it is. And if you don't like it, you can pack your rags and get the hell out of this country. China and Russia would love your citizenship. Have a nice day, and don't let that border hit you in the ass on the way out. Come join me on the Views Express Live. I'm going to be calmer. Much more calmer than I am now. Come join me on the Views Express Live, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on freeamericaradio.us. Got any questions? Disagree with me? Email me. freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com.